Ladies and gentlemen, so far I have reviewed VertShock, VertCode Bodyweight, Nick Brizz's vertical jump training program, Flight School by The Lost Breed, Boing Vert, Bounce Kit, Fat Don't Fly, VertCode Elite, Knees Over Toes Guys vertical jump training program, and Isaiah Rivera's vertical jump coaching with THP Strength. And the prices of all of these programs, let's see if I can do this on the first try, were VertShock was $67. VertCode Bodyweight was $85. Nick Brizz's program was $67. Boing Vert was $7. Flight School was $29.99. Isaiah Rivera's coaching was $89 a month, at least the option that I chose. VertCode Elite was $267 for lifetime access. Overtime Athletes was $134. Knees Over Toes Guy was $50 a month, and Bounce Kit was $77. Today, I'll be reviewing Jump Attack by Tim Grover, who was the trainer of Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade, Charles Barkley, tons of the greatest players of all time, tons of the greatest players who have gone through the league. This is their trainer, and he has a book teaching you how to jump higher. Jump Attack by Tim Grover, the formula for explosive athletic performance, jumping higher, and training like the pros. So this is actually a book. I actually have this book. I already have the book, Jump Attack by Tim Grover. This is actually one of the first books that I ever read when I was trying to increase my vertical jump. This and the Vertical Jump Development Bible, which is also very good. So I'm not going to look through the physical book. I actually have the PDF on my phone, so I am going to go through this. So within this book, you actually get a lot of information. He talks about the relentless pursuit of explosiveness, the jump attack formula for flight, rules for relentless training, jump attack question and answer, the most frequently asked questions. Then he gets into the jump attack workout, and there are 3 phases: fire, force, and flight. And then there's more chapters after that: jump attack full, the trainer's room, and the results, and then the maintenance phase, which you should never maintain. Always try to be getting more. And what I'm going to do is just get straight into the program. I just wanted you to know there is more in this book for you to read, but I'm going to jump right into it because I don't want this video to be any longer than 15 minutes. Jump attack phase 1. Fire. The first phase of this program got its name for 2 reasons. Number 1, we're preparing your muscles to fire, and 2, these exercises will make them feel like they're on fire. This phase is 3 weeks, and it's going to be very good for beginners. It's going to be building the base, giving us the foundation for the next 2 phases. So let's get into it. He has upper body as well as lower body. So day 1 is relentless legs. Day 2 is relentless total body. Everything is relentless. He has a book called Relentless, which I actually have that too, but I think I gave that to a young athlete. But I will link both of these books down below in the description if you want to get them. But the point is, if you want to be the best of the best, if you want to be the GOAT, if you want to be the Kobe Bryant, the Michael Jordan, you got to be relentless and take relentless action towards your goals. So here we go. Day 3 is rest and recovery. Day 4 is relentless legs. Day 5, relentless total body. Day 6 and day 7, rest and recovery. Then you got week 2, which is the same thing. Week 3 is the same thing. And then week 4 is a complete recovery week. That's something we don't see very often. Sequence 1, which for him, sequence just means a superset or a triset or a giant set. So a superset is 2 exercises back to back. A triset is 3 exercises back to back to back. And then a giant set is 4 or more exercises back to back to back to back. Also called a circuit. We got some fire hydrants, which is hip mobility. Then we got some isometrics. Then we got a hip flexor stretch. And then that is your tricep number 1 or your superset number 1, whatever you want to call it. You do those exercises back to back to back. And he tells you week 1, do 60 seconds for the isometric. Week 2, do 90 seconds. Week 3, do 120 seconds. And then week 4, obviously, we are resting and recovering that entire week, which, do you agree with that? And I do want you to know that this book is a little bit, or a lot of it, outdated. So there's no exercise demonstrations. There are literally just pictures and words describing what you should be doing. So I wish there were videos that we could see, but that's okay. It's Tim Grover. Sequence 2, we got some fire hydrants, then we got some lunge holds, then we got some lunge pumps, and then we have a hip flexor stretch. So some more hip mobility, some more isometrics, and we got some pumps. And then we got a hip flexor stretch to finish it at the end. Sequence 3 is very similar: fire hydrants, elevated Bulgarian lunge hold, elevated Bulgarian lunge pump, and then a hip flexor stretch. So he's very big on the hip flexor stretch. Sequence 4, we get some fire hydrants. So you also notice that he's very big on fire hydrants, very big on hip mobility. He actually states in here that tight hips equal less athleticism. He says that tight hips equal less athleticism. So If you want a hip mobility routine, I will link that down below in the description. I have made a hip mobility routine that can loosen your hips and make you more athletic and less tight. Then we got a straight leg deadlift hold. Then we got a straight leg deadlift pump, which is, I've never even heard of that, aside from when I read this when I was 12. Sequence 5 is fire hydrants, so we got some upper body, then we got a calf stretch. And that is it for days 1 and 4 of weeks 1, 2, and 3. Let's get into days 2 and 5. We got a push-up hold, then we got a pull-up hold, then we got an overhead hold, then a bicep hold. So these are upper body isometrics, which are also gonna be very good. Your body loves isometrics. Your tendons love isometrics. Your tendons love eccentrics. It's the concentric, the fast movement that your body and your tendons do not like. But that's what makes you jump higher. So you need to teach it to do isometrics first, then eccentrics, so that it is prepared for those fast concentric movements. Then we got a frog plank hold and a side plank hold, so we got some core in there. Moving on to phase 2. So yes, guys, that was it for phase 1. It's a little bit cookie cutter. You're not gonna jump much higher by doing those exercises, I will tell you right now, but your body's gonna love you, your tendons are gonna love you, you're gonna build that foundation at first, then we're gonna get into the force, and then we're gonna get into I can't remember what the third one is, but we need that fire phase to get into the force phase, and then the last phase. The phase 2 schedule is very similar to the phase 1 schedule, except now instead of relentless legs, we have power legs. So day 1 and day 4 are power legs, day 2 and day 5 are power total body, day 3, 6, and 7 are rest and recovery, and all of week 8, the last week of phase 2, is rest and recovery. Days 1 and 4, we have glute bridges. Then we have sitting squats, where you hold for 30 seconds, then immediately do 10 reps. And then week 6, hold for 20 seconds, immediately do 10 reps, and then hold for 10 seconds, immediately do 10 reps. So those are the sitting squats. Then we got lunge, butt kickers, then we got a hip flexor stretch. So that's sequence 1 or sequence 6. Sequence 7, we have glute bridges. So notice that we are no longer doing the fire hydrants. We aren't doing the hip mobility before each workout. We are doing glute activation before each workout. So we got glute bridges, then we got reverse lunges, then we got some plyometrics, so tuck jumps. So it went isometrics. Now we are getting into our plyometrics. We didn't do any of that in the first phase. So we got tuck jumps, then we got a hip flexor stretch. Sequence 8, we got some glute activation, some burpee deadlifts. We have seated box jumps, something that I love, but I don't do nearly and as much as I would like to. They are very fun. And you know, it's rapid force production. I love seated box jumps. Then we got a hip flexor stretch. Sequence 9, we got some glutes, then we got straight leg deadlifts, but check it out. You hold for 30 seconds, so it's an isometric, and then you actually do your reps and you add the eccentric and the concentric. So you're holding it in an iso, then you're actually doing 10 reps of the exercise. Moving into days 2 and 5, power total body. So now we have upper body isometrics and then the full reps. So we have push-up hold and then you do 10 reps. Pull-up hold and then you do 10 reps. So that's kind of hard, okay? Hold. In week 7, you are holding a pull-up for 90 seconds. 90 seconds, that's not easy. Then you are immediately doing 10 reps. Can you do that? Because I don't even know if I can do that. Hold it for 90 seconds, then hit 10 reps. I'm not sure. Let's try it. See guys, I'm telling you, that is not easy. I don't hold pull-up holds all the time, but I'm not a weak guy. And I got 1 minute and 20 seconds. I couldn't even hold the full 90 seconds. I couldn't hold 1 minute and 30 seconds, let alone right now do 10 pull-ups immediately afterwards with my noodle arms. Then we got an overhead hold, we got a bicep hold, we got a tricep hold, and then we got some core. And ladies and gentlemen, finally, what you've all been waiting for, phase 3, flight, where we do attack depth jumps. By now you understand that we've been laying the foundation for the hardest work, training your body in a very specific way. You're now ready for flight. Let's go. Here's the phase 3 schedule. We got explosive legs, explosive total body, rest and recovery, explosive legs, explosive total body, rest and recovery, and we have 12 week, that's always a full week of recovery. Sequence 11, we have fire hydrant / bridge walkout combo, which is gonna be some hamstrings. Then we have deadlift, max reps for 30 seconds. I can name 4,673 things that are wrong with that statement. What weight do I use? I guess I would just use a weight that is light enough that I could continue for 30 seconds, because in week 10 then we have max reps for 20 seconds, so you could then go heavier and only do 20 seconds, less time. Then week 11, max reps for 15 seconds. So I guess it makes sense. I've just never seen it set up like that, but you would get heavier and heavier and heavier, and you would do less and less and less time. So you would increase the intensity, but you would lower the volume. Sequence 12 is similar, but now we got fire hydrant, bridge walker combo, and then we got squats. Max reps 30 seconds. And then week 10, max reps 20 seconds. Week 11, max reps for 15 seconds. So increasing the weight, decreasing the time. Then we have a back roll tuck jump. Okay, so this is when you roll on your back and then you roll forward and then stand up and do a tuck jump. So this is good because you're standing up from the floor. You're using your momentum to stand up from the floor, which is already strengthening your legs. And then you're doing a jump on top of that, which is an explosive plyometric. Then we do the hip flexor stretch. Sequence 13, instead of squats, we got elevated Bulgarian lunges. And instead of tuck jumps or back row tuck jumps, we got Bronco kick tuck jumps. Sequence 14, we got some straight leg deadlifts. So you have straight leg deadlifts, you have deadlifts, and then you have squats and Bulgarian split squats. So you got 2 exercises that are quad dominant and then 2 exercises that are posterior chain, hamstring, and glute dominant. So this is pretty good actually. And then we have attack depth jumps, which is essentially a kneeling jump to your feet and then a box jump. And then for explosive total body days 2 and 5, we got some clapping push-ups, we got some pull-ups, we got some cleans to an overhead press. So that's going to be a good move right there. And then bicep curls, and then we got some core. So let me just tell you what I think about this program as a whole. This book is a little bit outdated. So it's not to say the program is outdated, but the book is a little bit outdated. You're not gonna get any exercise demonstrations of somebody actually showing you what to do. You're gonna have to look at a picture and read the words and try to put it in your mind what you think you are actually supposed to do. But the program is actually good. He gives you the base foundation. It's called the FIRE Foundation. It's called FIRE because if you've ever done my bodyweight program where I give you some isometrics in the beginning, if you're doing a lunge hold for 2 minutes straight, it's gonna burn. That's why it's called the fire phase. He has a lot of isometrics in there, teaching our tendons to get ready for the next phase, which is force, and then the last phase, which is flight, where you're actually doing your jumping. So it is a good program. It is 100% gonna help you increase your vertical jump. I do think that it is missing some things. A lot of these programs don't allow you to do any plyometrics in the beginning phases. I think that it is more beneficial if you do jump rope or ankle bounces or some shock jumps. I think it is more beneficial if you do those beginner low-level plyometrics than if you don't do those plyometrics. You will prepare yourself more for the rest of the program if you do some low-level plyometrics before you get into medium and high-level plyometrics. So before we get into the attack depth jumps, we never did any ankle bounces or shock pause jumps or shock jumps. Once again, this is Tim Grover, okay? Tim Grover knows what he's doing, but this is a little bit cookie cutter. And I do think that if he added some things, or if you added some things like some sprints, like some jump technique. There was no jump technique in this. I think you could get a lot more results if you did some low-level plyometrics in the beginning, the first phase, before you did your isometrics, and then if you added some more intense plyometrics at the end. I don't think tuck jumps are the absolute best plyometric that you could be doing to increase your vertical jump. But like I said, this is a good program, but I think it is a little bit outdated, or at least the book is a little bit outdated, and I think that it is missing quite a bit of stuff. But Tim Grover is still the GOAT. He obviously knows much more than I do, but if I were you, or if I myself was going to choose a program, I would not choose Tim Grover's jump attack. I would choose, so he uses plyos and weights, so that's a really good thing, but I would choose another program that uses plyos and uses weights, like a Vert Code Elite, or a THP Strength, or an Overtime Athletes, or even a knees over toes guy if you have a little bit of pain, or my program, which you can get with the link down below. But there's a lot of other options, a lot of better options, I think. I know I'm gonna get bashed for this, but I think there's a lot of better options out there than Tim Grover's jump attack. That's just my opinion. I'll see you guys in the next video.
Young visionary, and I don't know where I am. I'm running blindfolded, like I ain't got a plan. You either steady living life or you afraid to die. But if you don't